Okay, we're going to try to make a worm composting tower. I've done this before. See if I can come up with a different way. This is a piece of 4-inch PVC, just standard, whatever, PVC. I know that I want to, I've tried drilling it. I'm going to see if I can cut this stuff and make other holes into it. So what I've done to hold it in place is I just took some scrap 2x2 that was sitting around, nailed it into my bench so that it's on each side of this bad boy, and then see, it's nice and stable, and then I threw a quick clamp right onto it to hold it in place. Now what I did was I figured out how far down I have this thing going underneath the soil. I made a line. You can see everything here is going to be below ground, everything up here is going to be above ground. Then I'm going to sand from about this line up all the way to the top, so that I take all this sheen. You see this shine that's on here? That'll make it real difficult, even if you have like a Krylon plastic paint. So what I want to do is give this some tack, or what you would call a tooth, by sanding all this down so that it doesn't have that shine anymore. Make it so it's real matte, like a real matte finish. We'll take a look at that in a sec. I was using what would be a 3/4 inch spade bit to drill these holes for the worms to get in and out of this tube, where food will be all on the inside there, food scraps. This will be down under the ground, obviously. This is above. Jam the food stuffs down into there, then they can grab it and come out all these holes that I'll be making, and poop all over the place and give me some nice fertilizer. I did try those holes. I'm going to see what it's like if I cut it for a second. I'll show you how that's working out. That didn't work at all. Don't try that. I'm just covered with this stuff. There's shavings everywhere. I mean, stuff just went flying from using the saw, and that's all I did. I couldn't see anything, blah blah blah. I had intended on cutting out like this strip here and kind of putting this underneath, but you know what? It's very difficult to cut it out with the saw, even though it's a nice straight line. The PVC just shoots every place, and you know what I hadn't really thought about, and now that I'm really kind of considering, is if I were to take out this space here, which is about I don't know what's that, 1.5 inches long, like this. This would just backfill with dirt anyways, and I don't want that. So I'm going to go back to the original plan and drill 3/4 inch holes. They're going to be placed very randomly, yet all over, so that there's plenty of entrances and exits for the worms. We will be back in a minute and I'll show you that. Pretty simple, actually. That's it. Alright, so our holes are all squared up. 3/4 inch, like I said, with a boring bit. Completely random, but there's lots of them so that our worms can get in and out. This is pretty sharp all in here, so I'm going to run a sander over it. And like I said, we're going to dull down everything up here for paint. Alright, so we're back out in the garden and getting ready to put this thing in. It's a pretty good guess, actually, where we had the, oops, sorry, this is hard to focus, soil line and the holes. So all my worm holes are down below the soil line, or the line of the bed, and as you can see, the top of this has been muted out, or matted, sanded down real well. There's a little bit of sheen and stuff down there. This is real matted out, so we're gonna backfill it. Alright, so Rachel's now filling the tube that we put in, some old scrap carrots. Instead of just putting in huge chunks, she's just kind of whittling them down for us, throwing it right in there. As we can see down in there, she's doing a pretty good job. Let's see, kiddo. Down in there, you're not really going to see it, but there's food down in there. Now, one thing that we have to address is putting a cap on this for inclement weather and rain and everything else. I did see plastic caps for this at the hardware store. I bought this tube, was a 10-foot tube, for like $8. The caps were $7.50. I'm not paying that much, so what we did do, took in a little piece of plywood, made it about 5 by 5, nailed a little hunk of 2 by 4 onto the bottom of it. I'll make something fancier later. Look out, Ray Ray. This fits right down in there, and you're good to go. Perfect. That little hunk of 2x4 will stop this from blowing off, and we're good to go. You can obviously cut it down a little bit smaller if you want to, but I like this because it's got a little handle on it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Kind of a cool idea for a worm tower, compost tower. Instead of, you know, digging holes all the time all over the place, filling those with food and whatnot, we have a constant supply to fill it up. All right, say catch you later, Ray.
See you.
Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.